Okay, go for it.
All right, Mulligans and Hackers podcast. Chris and Alvin back again, and this time we got
This will be episode 101.
101. We hit the century mark
101.
last
We
time,
did,
and
yeah.
Leah gets to be the first one in the next 100.
In the next 100. And fitting, as it's our AGT 2025 season preview episode, right?
Yep.
Yes. Heck
Yes.
yeah.
Let's get some enthusiasm going. You were like really enthusiastic before we hit record.
You want me to jump again?
But yeah, we're looking forward to 2025. What have you been doing over the winter? Other than recouping your knee, I guess, eh?
I was gonna say, yeah, not a lot because I tore my ACL right at the end of last season. So, yeah, been doing rehab, and I've been sick. I'm sure you can hear it in my voice for about, I believe I was quoted January 29th as the day I first got sick. So, yeah, let's go. Apparently there's like 100-day cough or something along those lines. So I'm nearing the 100
100-day
days.
cough.
I
Oh
don't
boy,
know.
I don't
This
want that shit.
this guy's feeling not that great today because he went home from work.
Yeah,
So,
I had a bit of a head cold.
I don't need any of that
I
shit.
feel better now, but I had a bit of a head cold this morning. So.
Weird how that works during Masters Week, hey?
Yeah. Hey, listen, I never take sick days, okay? Like, I've been here this is my 17th year, and I can count on one hand how many sick days I've taken. But yeah,
All right, I'll
the
give
point
that to you.
remains. The
Yes.
point remains.
I do know that I'll be having my phone right next to my computer at work for the next couple of days.
So, are you going to be able to play it all this year, or are you just going to have to lay back and just do the press thing?
I can play. I mean, I played the Vegas Baby Pro-Am in November, and I really didn't have range of motion then. Will I play a tournament? I might be like a last minute fill in on some smaller ones, but if we're already selling out events at this point, I'm not sure if we're going to have smaller ones for me to play in. So that's okay. It makes it hurt less when I have a good reason for not playing.
So, season starts May 10th and 11th in
Yeah,
Invermere, Copper Point,
yeah.
2-day major, right?
Your first major. Yeah.
Our first major. We have registered to play in it, and so stoked for it. Can't wait for it. But the event sold out.
It's sold out. Yeah. I checked, someone sent me an email on Sunday asking if I thought if they waited a couple days to check with work, if it worked out, if they'd still be able to get in. And that was when I realized we were at 66 out of 72. And by the next night, we had sold out. So I was able to get two more tee times, so 8 more spots. There's a potential for a third. So we're doing what we can to accommodate more players. It's kind of wild. We were starting to dwindle in numbers at this event in the last few years. We started our first year out there a few years ago, we had 66. And then the year after was 57. And then last year was 52. And so I thought maybe the appeal of going to Invermere was starting to go away. But now all of a sudden we're going to be at 80 or 84. So
That's a
let's
great
go.
field too, right?
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you
So
said
good.
you said when we were chatting, you're seeing a lot of new names on the list.
Tons of new names. Yeah. Like this is wild. This is going to be, I mean, we're up. I was looking at my numbers. We're up 40% day over date, like year to date from last year. And last year we were up 30%. How we're still seeing this type of growth every year on this tour when we're in year 13, I will never understand, but it's pretty exciting.
Yeah, those type of numbers is pretty cool. But when you get those type of numbers though, and your field is like, how many members do you have now?
We're already at 180.
And the field is 72,
Well, the field at 80 now.
right? At 80.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you there's members that if they wanted to play, they can't get in now, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's wild. This is the first time I've sold out an event prior to the early bird sale ending, like prior to being able to open it to public. This is all
Is there
members
any
only,
other
and
events that are getting close to selling out, or
um,
not really?
no, I wouldn't say close yet. Our Calgary private events always do sell out. I looked today. I think Pine Brook, we're at 35 out of 60 spots. We're only allowed to have 60 spots there. And Mickelson, I believe we're already at 50 out of 90. So,
Well, I'll be signing up for my 7 other events probably tonight. So, um, I don't know what Alvin's going to be doing, but I mean I've said it on numerous podcasts. My plan is to play in probably 7 to 8 events, including Copper Point, and then the major at the end of the year. So
nice. Oh, Tour Championship is the best.
Yeah, I haven't ruled it out yet. We'll see what the summer brings, because I'd really like to do that, but we'll see how everything works out over the summer. Um, I'm happy to get into Copper Point. Copper Point was the main one I wanted to get in. I will be at Mickelson, barring something other than death. I will be there. But
gotta get you out to Speargrass. That's like one of my
yeah,
favorite courses
Speargrass. I'm probably
Oh,
going
I
to make.
love
I love
Speargrass.
that course.
I'm probably
I play
going
it
to.
every
Me
year.
too.
He has been at me since we started this like 4 years ago. I haven't played Speargrass, and he's been every summer. He's like, Alvin, you got to play Speargrass.
It's one of my
Alvin,
dad's and my favorite courses.
Alvin, you got to play Speargrass. So I will probably be at Speargrass this year for sure.
Can I tell you why I love Speargrass? Because just from maybe a more of a female perspective, um, par fours for women suck. And that's just how I feel about them. I hate par fours. But guess what? You have the most of on any given golf course, par fours. Speargrass I love because it's six par threes, six par fours, and six par fives.
Yep.
And the chance that you have to score, you know, most of the par fives are reachable if you hit a good drive and then you have some guts on the second shot. It's just, I don't know, for me, like the par threes are such a nice, like I actually get to use like a pitching wedge or a 9 iron. I think the longest I have to hit is a 7 iron, which is, there's some par threes out there on some courses where the women have to hit like hybrids or woods off the tee and it's not fun. So just the yardages and the way that that course is set up, it's a scoreable track. And you feel usually pretty good. Even if those last 3 holes kick your ass, you still feel pretty decent about coming off of around there. Almost
Those
always.
are those last 3 holes are something else, and they're getting tougher every year because
Well, yeah, the land keeps sliding.
yeah, as you know, they're on the riverbank, so it keeps like getting tougher and tougher and tougher. I mean, I think about that tee shot on 17, and I'm just like, man, if you got the balls to go for it, I mean, you could end up really good, but also really bad.
So they actually cut some bushes down there. So there's a much better line now. If you go up the right hand side, you actually get a nice kick off that side hill by the cart path. Whereas before you kind of had to go like straight at the green if you were going to go for it.
Yep.
But I played there a few times last year with a few different like skills of who could hit the ball, how far they could hit it, and their aim. And surprisingly, almost every time we had someone drive the green that I was like, that's not going to happen. So it seems like it's become a little easier. I don't know if you played there last year at all, but yeah, they did clean up a little bit of the right hand side so you can get a good bounce off that slope.
I think when we played there last year, it was towards the end of the season. It was pretty cold and ugly, so we were just happy to be done by that time.
Yeah.
So the second event after Copper Point is May the 31st at Delacour.
Yeah.
So just a little bit about
similar.
that one.
Yeah. I mean, I could compare Delacour to Speargrass. They're both very open link style courses with serious wind issues. So, very, I mean, tiered greens. If you've never played there before, that would be the main difference between there and Speargrass. Delacour has usually 3 very distinct tiers, and you want to be on the right one. But super fun track. Just really hope that we can keep the fan on low that day. I have played there in 90K winds, and it was towards the beginning of the season, so the greens weren't as fast as they could be, and I still had to read wind on putts
Oh boy.
Holy.
because if you were sloping downhill downwind, that ball was taking off hard. So you actually had to read the wind on your putts. It was crazy.
Yeah, because golf's not hard enough as it is, you know.
Yeah, no doubt.
Exactly.
Can you imagine I read putts so poorly now? If I had to take win into consideration, I may as well just go home. Nice. Um, then there's Olds.
Yeah, always a very popular one at the beginning of the season. I try to keep it that first weekend of June every year.
June
That's
1st.
another
Yeah.
one where we get 80 to 90 players there. So
Do you have a
it's
larger field for that one?
yeah. We've got a lot of spots booked off. That is almost always outside of Mickelson our biggest field out of the single day events for sure.
Thistle Creek,
Hey, that's right, close to where I grew up.
June the 7th.
Where did you grow up? And not Entwistle.
Tomahawk.
Where really? I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
Yeah, I told you this before. Yeah, my dad used to live out by Buck Lake, and or like when he sold the family farm, and not too far from Buck Lake is where he lived until he passed away. So it was like, yeah, I grew up in that area. I spent a lot of time up there. So
Dang.
I know Trestle Creek.
Sorry.
I haven't played Trestle Creek because they kind of built it afterwards. But
Yes, yeah, it's pretty new. Going back to Olds real quick, if you haven't played there, what I would say, there are some gettable holes, like some short par fours that you can go for it. But those greens are really quick, really, really quick. The Alberta Junior was there last year, so I got to watch like some of these really good juniors just tear that course apart. The kid that was in our group the first 2 days, he actually won it, and he, I believe, shot a 64 and 66 or something. I don't know. It was ridiculous. Like, it's just so good. And Trestle, same thing with the greens. But I'm seeing a theme here. Yeah, Trestle's greens, very tiered, usually very quick. I don't know how quick they'll be at the beginning of June, but there's a lot of, it's kind of a combo links slash foresty because you're up in the forest there too, but there are kind of in between holes that are more linksy, but very tiered, quick greens as well.
Then on June the 8th is the Ranch.
Yeah, the ranch. That's a staple on our schedule as well every year. It's always in good shape. Just outside of Edmonton.
oh yeah, that's right.
Atchison.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's always in good shape. It's a very interesting design and layout. And yeah, they're good to us there, and it's always a fun one to have on the schedule.
Then June 16th, Pine Brook.
Yeah.
Now
So
that's one of the premier single day events.
yeah, so unfortunately, Glencoe is undergoing some renovations on the the 18 that we played there in the last few years. So they couldn't fit us in just because they had to move some other big shotgun tournaments around. And so I reached out to Pine Brook to see what the chances were that we could maybe get on there. It's tough. Like one of the reasons we don't have a private event in Edmonton is, the members' access on only an 18-hole golf course is it's tough to take times away from them, right? So we've always been at Pritis, which has 36 holes, and Glencoe, which has 45 holes. So I didn't expect a yes from Pine Brook, but I'm super pumped that we got one.
Have you done an event at Pine Brook before?
Nope, never.
No. Oh, that's cool.
I've caddied there was back when Alberta Golf had the mid handicap provincial championships. I believe the last one they ever held was there, and I caddied for one of my players in that event. But after that, they renovated the course a bunch, so it's kind of new to me as well. They replaced all the greens and did a bunch of work, so it should be really good.
that one's right in Calgary.
Yeah, basically, it's like right off the West Stony Trail.
Oh,
It's literally 2 seconds outside of, I think, maybe what the city limits are, but it actually might be inside. I don't know. It's kind of in Springbank, though.
June 21st, Sundre.
I call Sundry. Um, okay, I let me rewind. I call it the public Augusta of Alberta. Pritis would be my number one choice for calling Augusta of Alberta. But Sundry, if you've never been there, they've got every hole is tree lined by these big pine trees, but they cut them up about, I don't know, it's been a while since I've been there. I want to say 6 to 10 feet, depending on what hole you're on. So you don't often lose a ball unless it goes out of bounds, um, which is it's kind of like a section, right? So there's OB along the outside edges, but inside the golf course, it's pretty tough to fully lose a ball. You've got the wood chips laid underneath these pine trees. Like it's just very Augusta like in that sense. And again, crazy fast greens.
And the next day, June 22nd, you're at Water Valley.
Yes.
So
So that's just down the road
is it okay?
from Sundry. Yeah. It's funny. The sports reporter from the Calgary Sun, he's the Flames reporter, Wes Gilbertson. He texted me that and said, "I think the Cremona Hotel is going to be bumping that weekend." Kind of halfway in between, and it's. I mean, Water Valley. So new ownership took that over a few years ago, and yeah, the course the it's a fun track. There's a bunch of dog legs, a lot of elevation changes, really fun tee shots, a couple blind uphill tee shots. It's just it's kind of a fun track. I played it last year for the first time in probably 15 years. And I will not tell you what I shot. I actually don't think I entered. I just acted as if I didn't turn my own scorecard in that day. So I didn't actually enter it into Blue Golf because it miraculously got lost or burned or something. And it's not easy, but it's fun. That is actually where the Alberta Junior is this year. So I'm really excited to
Oh,
see
nice.
how better players play it.
So the weekend after that, June 28th and 29th, second major in at Paradise Canyon in Lethbridge.
Yeah. And that is our first time being at Paradise. So
We are going to be at that one as well.
For sure.
that is so it's probably going to be playing. I know that it always plays pretty tough, but the Alberta Amateur is there the exact like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, right before our event on the weekend.
Oh, it's gonna be
Oh,
terrific shape then.
it's going to be in tournament condition.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we will have never seen a course, I don't think, in the condition that we're going to see Paradise in that weekend. The greens are going to be even faster than they already are. I think they're probably going to grow the rough up a little bit as well. Um, and I've asked them though for nicer pin positions than what the AM is going to get.
We're looking forward to that one because that one's on our calendar to make too because it's literally just up the road.
Yeah. Well, and that's the only major that is an actual stroke play major. So Copper Point is Stableford, 75% net Stableford. So as soon as you hit a net double bogey, I mean, if you're really struggling on a hole, you can just pick up your ball, which is, I made that joke to you guys in my story. But it's like, it's exactly why I do Stableford at the very start of the season because people aren't necessarily in their best game shape. And if you get into trouble that you can't get out of, like you don't want to put a 13 on the card in your first tournament of the year. So pick up that, and you don't want me yelling at you for being out of position either.
Yeah,
So
the
just
pace of play
pick up your
queen.
ball, move on. Yep.
Um, so yeah, we're looking forward to that. That's kind of on our radar to get there and play Lethbridge, and I've never played there before either, so I'm kind of looking forward to that.
Yeah, that one's so again, really fast greens
So then
and
July
very
12th.
windy.
Oh yeah, it's Lethbridge. Yeah.
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 So then July the 12th is Speargrass, and we're probably going to make that one as well because we're just going to make that a day trip probably, and
Yep.
that'll be my first shot at Speargrass.
Yeah, and I've played it like I've played it probably a dozen times. I mean, I've had
Yeah.
rounds where I've shot like low mid 80s, and then I've had rounds that have been really bad. So I mean, it's like it just depends on the time of the year that you play. But I mean, I think I've had a couple of eagles out there with a couple times. But I mean, there's some high risk, high reward play holes out
Yep.
there. If
Yeah.
you got the cojones to go for them and you hit a good shot, you can be really rewarded, or you could be staring at a big number on your cards. So it's
Well, that's the course
that my
that
favorite thing about that course, like you said, is the 6, 6, and 6. Like it's such a unique layout, right?
yeah. Yeah, and it's just fun too. Like you don't really the holes are so different. Like sometimes you can play a course and it's like this par four and there's a fairway bunker on either side and then the green. It's like the same shit over and over. Whereas at Speargrass, you don't really get that. Like every hole has its own uniqueness to it. It with the exception of those two par threes, 11 and 14 that share tee
Yeah, they're
boxes.
back to back. Yep.
But even then, the holes themselves, like the green complexes and where the bunkers and the waste bunkers are, like they're different. And every hole has its own personality. But I Speargrass has a special place in my heart too, because that's where 2 years ago, Tyler set the competitive course record.
Oh, nice.
And he got a hole in one on the seventh hole
Oh, wow.
and an albatross on 15, that long par five along the road.
Dang.
Yeah, and he bogeyed the last hole to shoot a 62. So it was a proud mama moment. I was playing in the group in front of him and I didn't know all of this stuff was going on. And it was
Yeah, he was on
pretty,
fire that day.
pretty expensive day for mother, let me tell you.
So after Speargrass, July 19th is Garrison Memorial.
Yeah. I've never been there. It's a new one. They reached
Another
out.
new
They
one.
want, yeah, yeah, trying to change it up this year. Yeah, they reached out and wanted uh, to have an attempt at hosting, and I've heard decent things about the course. Like it's not anything crazy. Like we're not going to be looking for Pritis or Glencoe quality golf course here. It's a public Edmonton track. But I don't know if you guys ever had the chance last year to meet Sue from High Level. She is a veteran, and so when she comes out and plays her rounds on tour, she has her service dog with her. And I love Willow. She actually sometimes lets me take Willow in the middle of a round, and then I go off to the side and play fetch with the dog in the middle of a golf tournament. But um, it's Garrison Memorial is the Canadian Forces. There's a Canadian Forces base there, so it's kind of the golf course of. So she kind of hooked up that relationship, and yeah, so I'm excited to give that one a go. I've never been.
Nice. Again, that's pretty cool to have new courses and have courses reaching out as well.
Yeah, for sure.
So then July 20th is the Quarry.
Yeah, so arguably the best public course in the Edmonton area. We don't get them on the schedule super often. They're just busy. They're just a busy track. But we were able to kind of squeeze in on this Sunday afternoon now that we do the Sunday afternoon events. And yeah, really looking forward to that one. It's 27 holes. So I think need to confirm which 18 we are playing. And it's one of those courses where like I think the only other place where this happens is Mickelson, but I can't even put the champ flight off the tips. It's so long and so hard.
Jeez.
It's
Wow.
yeah. Yeah. It's a good track, but yeah, champ flight doesn't even play tips there. So that'll tell you something about the toughness.
I'm glad I'm going to miss that one.
All right.
Then July 26th and 27th is Panoka. And give us a little insight onto the Panoka event.
Major.
It's become one of my favorite, just because it's almost reminiscent of like a President's Cup situation because it's match play. It's not team though, so it's a little different. Uh, so what we do day one is two 9-hole matches. So you're set up in a foursome. So it keeps growing. So I have to cut it off at every 8 people. So right now it's at 48, so we have 6 divisions or 6 brackets. And it's all by handicap. So you're playing against people who are pretty close to your handicap. So you're not giving a ton of strokes or getting any strokes either. D flights, obviously. Well, sorry, we had an E flight in that one last year too, but that's, I mean, it still makes it a little less daunting when you have that many players and closer handicaps. But yeah, day one, you are set up in your foursome and you have a front nine hole match. And so 2 matches happening in that foursome at the same time. And then when you go to the back nine, if you have a tie, we do a really quick blind putt off to determine a winner. And then the winners from the front nine match play each other on the back, and the losers from the front nine play each other on the back. And at the end of the day, we've got someone that's going to have a 2-0 record, an 0-2 record, and 2 people with a 1-1 record. So then from there, on day two, we do anyone that was 2-0 or 0-2 goes into 18-hole matches on day two. And one is for the first and second place, and one is for seventh and eighth place in each bracket. And then anyone who was 1-1 plays similar to the first day. So it's a front nine match and then a back nine match. And then again, from there, you can determine third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. And it's because it's such a smaller field too than what we're used to with 48. You really get to, and match play is so different. I like to call myself the match play queen because I like fucking with people's heads, and especially knowing the rules, because there's different rules in match play than stroke play as well. And we can touch on the rules situation after we go through this. But it's very interesting because, for example, in stroke play, say someone tees off slightly in front of the teeing markers. Number one, you should say something and they should correct it. If you don't say anything, then obviously whatever it is, what it is, because you didn't call them out on it. But in stroke play, you are supposed to correct that. You get a penalty and you move on. Whereas in match play, say someone went a little in front or to the side or something like that to try to get a better angle at a dog leg or something like that, and they hit. You can either accept that stroke from them or you can make them hit again. So say they like absolutely peered one around the corner and you're like, you were actually outside the official teeing area, which is the markers and 2 club lengths back, and that creates a square in the teeing area. And you can call them out and be like, you got to re-hit. There's no penalty, but you can make them re-hit. So little shit like that, or like not giving putts that they thought they were going to get, and then they're in their head because they didn't get it given to them, and then they completely miss the hole from 2 feet because they're so rattled. That kind of shit. I love that. So we're actually considering doing a horse race in between rounds as well. That was the head pro's idea last year, just because he thought like everyone comes in, we all kind of gather and have a drink and a bite and whatever. And he's like, this would be so much fun if we went out and did a horse race right now. And I was like, are you sure you want that? And anyway, so we'll survey everyone once we get the field kind of finalized and see if people do want to do a horse race, but that also might be taking place in between rounds at Ponoka.
Nice. Then after Ponoka, August the 5th is another premier event, Mickelson National. Again, we will be there. It was one of my favorite experiences in golf so far, outside of the weather. Going and playing at that course. But it was so cool to go and play Mickelson last year. A highlight of my golf journey so far in the last 4 years. What an amazing place, and I knew then I was going to make that a regular event to go to because I really enjoyed that place. Again, outside the weather. And
I think that you enjoyed the halfway houses more than like anything or anyone.
Well, again, like it is a different tier of golf course, I would say, because it is a private course now. To get for laymen like us to go and play a private course like that is a different experience, and yeah, it's next level stuff, and I really enjoyed it. I can't say enough about it, but the halfway houses were something special. I'm not going to lie. Never seen anything like it. Go back and check our other podcasts if you want to hear my stories about the halfway houses. But
And about how we always bring rain last year to all of our events for whatever reason.
Yeah, we're not doing that. We are not, those are not the vibes this year, boys. We're correcting that.
we just played 9 holes before we came and jumped on here, and I think I was walking off the tee box on number 6, and me and Chris actually looked at each other and said, "Can you imagine if we went to Invermere for the first major and it rained? I'm pretty sure we would be asked to leave, and we
Yeah,
would be
we'd be banned.
refunded, and we would not be invited back anymore."
Mhm. Very strong possibility of that, especially because we've had nothing but amazing weather every year that we have gone there.
Well, you know
Just
what?
saying.
There's a strong likelihood that I might be at some events that Alvin's not. So if that does happen and there's no rain, we know who to blame.
Yep. Mr. No Rain
And,
Gear.
and I've taken care of that. That's no longer going to be an issue. Prepped for multiple weather episodes now in the bag, so I can put that to the side. I don't have to be a miserable little prick anymore when it's raining. Yeah,
Lord help us.
yeah, I know. I can be a miserable little prick. I know that. But I'm looking forward to Mickelson. It's on the calendar.
It's always a fun. I mean, even last year, even in the conditions, like I mean, it's a fun golf course to get around. I like what we said when we left, like to have a shot at it in nice conditions. I mean, overall, it's laid out pretty nice, and I mean, it's a little bit more open than I had anticipated in certain cases.
Definitely some elevation changes there, though.
Yeah, and some interesting
Oh, yeah.
hole layouts, right? Like there's it challenges you in ways that you maybe didn't think you were going to get challenged.
100%. And
I put,
again, the greens.
yeah,
They're fast that time of year. It's right around their club championship too. They keep them fast all the time though, but I mean, we had the rain. Well, the rain slowed the greens down last
They
year,
were
but like,
still blistering fast. I remember
yeah,
saying that to Alvin. It was raining, and I'm like, man, it is pouring, and these things are like stupidly quick still.
yeah.
I didn't mind that. I didn't mind the putting so much. And even with the conditions, I was getting around the course well until the last hole, and we were driving back, and I was like, yeah, I'd really like to get a crack at that course in decent conditions and just be able to focus on playing the holes and not having to worry about keeping your gloves wet, dry, or keeping your grips dry or something like that, right? So this year there will be no rain. We will be there, and it will be a great experience because that was a fabulous experience for us last year. I can't say enough about the place, but and we still have to talk about that free round as well because they gave out a free round at the end. This guy gets the 7-day anytime one, and I get a Monday to Friday one. How the hell does that work?
She likes me better than you.
We'll get you hooked up. Don't worry.
I'm not going to
You'll
be
be
there
fine.
Monday to Friday, so how the hell do I get one of those? Yeah, I
But
was.
wait, aren't you going to try to play on the Monday, the holiday Monday?
I don't think that does. I don't think those
Not going to
apply.
work?
I think it says excluding holidays.
No, I know, but technically, I'm just saying we'll get you taken care of, Alvin. That's not the issue. But it's going to
Oh,
technically be a Monday when you're trying to use it, is all I'm trying to say.
yes. Yeah, fair enough. Now that you say it like that, yeah, fair enough. I just need to be tuned in a little bit. I get it. But yeah, we're looking forward to that one. So then after that, lastly, August the 21st to the 24th, Tour Championship. Where?
Cranbrook.
Out in Cranbrook. So, what courses?
Rounds 1 and 4 were at Wildstone. Round 2 at St. Eugene, and round 3 at Bootleg Gap.
That is absolutely crazy. 3 different courses playing on the weekend.
And is it flighted stroke play or?
Yep, flighted
Yeah.
stroke play on everything. D flight's obviously still met. Carts included everything just because it's mountain courses. Some of them are somewhat walkable, but just
Just
4 days. You just take the
Yeah,
damn cart.
just take a card.
But outside of the golf, so we do Wildstone twice just because I think that Wildstone might be the best conditioned course that I have played, like, and consistently, like, over ever since it opened, I've been playing that track, and it is always lush. It's just amazing. So it's just one of those courses, and like the final holes there can really change things. They they can change a lot. Actually, the final hole, final day, I'll give you an example. Champ flight last year, Tyler had a two-stroke lead on the 18th tee, and uh, it's a 400 and no, I think it's actually like a 500-yard hole, maybe 480 to 500 par four,
Oof.
90 degree dogleg right. And Tyler's a lefty. And anyway, he hit a great drive. The guy that was down by two hit a great drive. He was kind of off into the rough. I thought that he had some trees blocking him out. Tyler hit his approach shot first and ended up, there's a bunker that's about 10 yards in front of the green with a huge lip on it. And the pin was kind of right there too, front pin to this bunker. And he was kind of stymied. Like, I truly had no idea how he'd be able to get that ball over the bunker lip and even onto the green. Like, I just didn't think like that it was possible by physics. Like, he was that close to the lip. And then the other guy proceeds to put it to like 3 feet on his approach shot. And I'm like, oh shit. Okay, this just got interesting, because if Tyler can't get out of this bunker and Buddy puts in for birdie on this 500-yard par four, like, who puts it to 3 feet on that long of a hole?
Well, that's why they're in the
Um,
champ flight.
I know, wild. Anyways, Tyler did get out of the bunker fine, but then he missed his par putt. He bogeyed, other guy birdied, and the next thing we know, we're heading to our annual tradition of a playoff between the two of them, because they did that the last year as well. But yeah, things can just change. The 15 and 16 are both par threes. You don't often see par threes back to back like that. But 15 is a monster. It's one of those par threes that you're using probably a 3 wood on. A couple people, I think, maybe had to use driver. Yeah, it's insane. I believe I used 3 wood. And then the next one has water trouble in front that I always somehow seem to find. I could hit a 9 iron, a 7 iron, or a hybrid on that hole and still end up in the fucking water. I think I'm just tired by that point, but we won't worry about that. And then 17's this interesting par four where you have to I think you can hit driver off the tee. I can anyways, but I think that Champ Flight does as well. But there's kind of bunkers all the way up the right side. There's trees and OB left, and then there's this waste bunker that comes up and cuts off the fairway from the green. And then the green is like, it's very large, and it's also like a turtleback. So if you happen to hit kind of the size, like if you don't get it right in the middle of that green, there's a good chance your ball is rolling off in either direction. It's it's crazy. And then the 500-yard par four to finish. Um, it, it's very interesting what happens in those last 4 holes on the last day. Things can swing a lot. So day one at Wildstone, we do we do kind of these extracurriculars after every round at Tour Championship. It's a lot for the person running it, especially, but it's so much fun. We do a big break competition on the driving range right after the round. And so we have a flop wall that we made. Did you guys ever watch Big Break back in the day?
I watched it a little bit.
So we've got flop wall, and we do. Remember they would do like break the glass. We don't have glass, but I print out panes of or big pieces of paper. One of the mistakes that we might have made was changing our frames from wood to metal, because there's been some close calls to people's heads.
Ricochet.
It's there. I record all of this stuff on video. I'm usually pretty drunk by that point. But yeah, there's the reaction time isn't great. But I got a Bluetooth microphone and speaker too last year, so I could really heckle people louder, and that was a lot of fun. And then we do kind of this crazy like as long as possible on the putting green, like the longest putt that you can hit. Um, and then you add up your distance from your best flop shot, your time from break the paper, and how close you were on the long putt. And we kind of award a big break champion. What's funny is I always hit the first putt just to give everyone a read because I don't want to enforce a blind putt every time. Um, and almost every year I end up, I do get either first or second in it. And I was the one giving the read. So, don't go in a putting competition against me. That's all I got to say. And then after round two at St. Eugene on the Friday, we stay. So a lot of people will stay in the hotel at St. Eugene because they've got the casino and everything there, and nice pool, hot tubs, all that kind of stuff. And it's nice for the families also to kind of be around in the same area, have the access to the pool if you're making it a family affair. And then just down the steps in the parking lot is a KOA campground. And so anyone who's camping is right on site as well. So that's just kind of become the hub for everything and where a lot of the people stay. And the KOA, it's funny, we used to do like a catered dinner at the golf course, but we just the pricing of it, I just didn't want to charge that much for a 4-day event when we included that dinner. And so I kind of came up with this idea. Cody was not happy with me, but I'm like, doesn't the KOA have like a gazebo and like a big barbecue, a big area outside? And he's like, what are you getting at here? I'm like, I think we should do like a cookout. I think that's like the AGT vibe. A catered dinner in this beautiful St. Eugene, like, yeah, that's nice and all, but a cookout, that's more AGT style. That has now turned into the most debaucherous evening ever. So like we prep everything. I literally I'm in my trailer and I'm cutting up all the topping, like tomato, lettuce, and cheese, and all the stuff, all the veggies, making Caesar salads, and Cody and the amigos, we call them, are on the barbecue making the burgers and the hot dogs. We've got a few guys who can't eat beef, so then we've got fish and chicken and all this other stuff. And then when I'm at Costco buying all the food before I come out, I venture over into Costco liquor as well, and then we end up with like the biggest cooler you've ever seen, just absolutely full of. I don't even know if I should be talking about this publicly, but anyways, full of pop cans and juice, and yeah. Anyway, we end up usually closing it down. They try to kick us out at 10 a.m., 10 p.m. And sometimes that happens, and sometimes it doesn't. But
and that's
let's
day
just
two.
say
Yeah,
that's day
that's
two.
day two, eh?
That's day two.
2 more days.
There's 2 more days to go. So then on Saturday we go to Bootleg Gap. Great, great track out there, and like a really nice driving range and everything too. But they've got like a recreational 9, and so we do an optional. You don't have to participate in it, but an optional horse race on the Saturday night as well, which can get a little bit debaucherous. But I mean, it's not like we don't have the cart girl following us around, unfortunately. So people do sober up eventually getting through there. But last year, and I won't put this on you because you guys weren't there, the weather at championship last year was so fucking bad. It was every other year we've had like beautiful sunny 24 to 27, like perfect temps, no wind. It's been great. And then last year, actually the final groups at St. Eugene on the Friday, and then leading into this cookout, there was this crazy storm that rolled in, lightning, hail, winds that literally, like, we had a couple families from our group that were tenting at the KOA. Their tents were gone. Like, they're somewhere. I don't think that they exist anymore. They got like torn out of the ground. It was insane. Wow. And the last group, I only know this because Tyler was in it, but like they had to like come in, go back out, come in, go back out, I think 3 or 4 times just to finish the round. And then they were like wiping hail off the green trying to putt. So yeah. And then the next day, just because the temperature that happened the night before, it was so cold when we were playing. The round wasn't bad, but by the time we got to the horse race, it was quite chilly. And yeah, there was G-Tech hand warmers and like, and then a lot of people were just bowing out. They're like, no, I'm done. So it's kind of like a marathon. You if you want to participate in all the things, you got to pace yourself, especially on the drinking side of things. You got to pace yourself and your energy. You gotta get the right amount of food, the right amount of sleep, because it's already. I mean, 4 rounds back to back in itself is already a grind. Then you throw in all of these little extracurricular activities, and yeah, it can be a long 4 days, but it's a fun 4 days.
Gonna have to build you up for that one, Elf.
Well, at least I don't drink that much,
And I don't drink at all, so that'll be fine.
so we can keep that type of debauchery down.
The only crappy thing about that weekend is we're gonna have to give up our spot in the Halo Charity Classic, which we're the 2-time defending champions now. So
Yeah.
that's
Oh,
okay. I would
that's
rather
a
come.
big
That's
that's
a
a big
fun
decision.
tournament, but I'm up for a 4-day tour championship. I'm planning. I mean, I don't know about what Al's plans are, but I'm going to be at Copper Point. I'm going to be at Delacour. I'm going to be at Pine Brook, Paradise Canyon, Speargrass, Panoka, Mickelson, and the Tour Championship.
Damn, that's a good lineup. That's a
Yeah,
really good
well,
lineup.
I mean, I've said it before on other podcasts, and Alvin maybe just looks at me, but I seriously want to finish inside the top 10 this year. So
All the majors and the tour championship should bump you up there pretty easy. You just have to finish
set to
kind of
play well.
halfway and up type of thing to get enough points, right?
So
Yeah.
you do a Ryder Cup style event as well, right?
Yeah. So that's the top 32. At the end of the year, once tour championship is over, anyone who ends up in the top 32 on the order of merit has earned an invite into the President's Cup. We used to do it in the fall, but I found that people were so burnt out by September. And then the one year we got snow, like September 20th, like when the tournament was supposed to happen, and we had to push it to the following spring. And what I realized when I was trying to get the players the following spring is like weird. I had to go down to 24 players because no one wanted to play in it because they were so burnt out. And then the next year I had no problem getting my 32 yeses because you're so amped up and wanting to go ready to go for golf season in the spring. So it's a little bit weird because it happens at the end of May and it's from qualifying the season before. And so we've got our top 32 and we do that now at Wolf Creek. Now that it's we weren't sure. We were actually at Drumheller for quite a while, which was a very interesting match play course. Um, Going through, I mean, the front nine is fine, but the back nine at Drum is playing through the hoodoos and with the dinosaurs. And so that was always very interesting. But yeah, Wolf Creek, we weren't sure where things were at kind of when it went into receivership and then Gulf North bought it. And then there was just because it got ignored over the winter because it was in receivership, there was some condition issues and stuff like that. But we're back there. So we're playing the old course on day one. And so day one, kind of similar to the Pinoca match play, but again, you're on a team. Um, we go out and do front nine matches of partner matches, sorry, on day one, which is it's going to get changed a little bit just because I need to take the layout of the old course into account here. But usually we'll do 9 holes of an alternate shot and then 9 holes of a best ball. And that's in partners, obviously. And then day two, we do 18-hole singles matches. And I really encourage, I mean, because everyone's in different flights, a lot of people, and especially whoever ends up being captains, if they don't really know people outside of their flight, right? So I know everyone, I know who's friends, I know who's rivals, I know who wants to kick whose ass because they just lose by a stroke to them every time. And I hear about those things after rounds, right? So I kind of keep those filed away in my head. And as we go through and the captains are picking the matches, there's certain rules that they have to stick to with like handicap differential and stuff. But outside of that, I'll go for the most drama for what like I want to see from an entertainment perspective. And I'm like, no, those two are best friends, so they're playing against each other because that's going to be good. There will be no mercy on that type of situation or just stuff like that. Um, and then yeah, big, huge. I mean, we've got like the colored team shirts. We've got these custom AGT, this logo out dancing all over. We've got team blue and team green. Um, and as it would turn out, our Order of Merit winner from last year was on Team Green last year, and Team Green won it. So the way that Order of Merit works is whoever got first place captains the winning team of the President's Cup. So he was already locked in on the team. If you win on your team and you qualify the year after, then you're locked in to that color again. So you don't have to bounce around and switch teams or whatever. So he was already Team Green. He's locked into Team Green because they're the returning winners. And then whoever gets second place in Order of Merit is the captain of the other team. Again, worked out really well because he was on Team Blue last year. So he's already kind of set up for that. And once we solidify everything and I go through and update everyone's handicaps, then the boys will start picking teams and filling out their rosters. And then once we get closer to the date, we'll do kind of a snake draw on them picking matches and lots of fun.
Yeah,
Sounds awesome.
that was something we talked about too. Playing enough events. I know Chris is going to play enough events to probably qualify, but to play enough events to try and qualify for that for 2026, so that we could get involved
on opposite teams.
On opposite teams, yes,
that would be the best.
Yeah,
and that'll be one of those situations where I'm like, those two are playing against each other.
Yeah, because there's no camaraderie here unless we play scrambles. There is no camaraderie between us when it comes to the golf course.
Yeah.
At all.
No, we're in a competitive round against one another.
No, I've listened to you guys do your podcast after every AGT event that you play, and I know there's no camaraderie there, so it's perfect.
I don't know. I don't think that comes through in the podcast. Do you?
Oh, probably not.
No, none of that comes through.
I think you need to attend a Mulligans and Hackers event to really see it brew, especially when this guy can't get off the schneid.
Yeah. Those events get a little When I talk about being a crusty fucker, I can be a really crusty fucker on the golf course when I'm not playing well. And this guy is, fairway green, 2-putt par, fairway green, 2-putt par. And I'm out there just, slogging through. Yeah, I could really throw a club at him. I really restrain myself. I pat myself on the back for my restraint on the golf courses every time he locks himself in and is playing really well, and I shit the bed hardcore. I give myself credit for not throwing him in a coolie somewhere.
You just gotta rise to the occasion, my friend.
Yeah, well, we'll see how it plays out this year.
Yeah, well, it's gonna be different, right? Because
you know what you need to do, the play, and Chris, just go like that. The play here, you don't need to try and throw him into a coolie. You just take a 6-iron and leave it somewhere.
Maybe just turn the grip a little bit. There you go.
Yeah. There.
Yeah.
There you go.
Fraction of a degree off to the left or to the right, and it'll really take that club choice away from him.
I can do that on my own half the time. Don't worry about it. That's funny.
Yeah.
No, you really need to take my putter is what you need to take. Probably.
Yeah, that's a weapon for you for sure. But looking forward to the season. What else we got going on?
What's this email that you just sent out?
I was going to say, do we want to talk about the email I sent today?
Oh, shit. Yeah, I don't know.
I didn't realize I had to go to school to play golf.
What in the hell is... I got to give you some credit for saying, hey, look, if you want to play on the tour, you have to know some rules. But, I'm fucking over 50 years old, and I don't need to be doing quizzes and being given... You have to get 70% to play in the goddamn tournament.
Before the tournament.
You know how much pressure that is for a guy my age? Do you have any idea?
Do it. You have a month to do it. You can do it.
I'm going to have to cheat.
The question.
I'm going to have to cheat just to get 70.
You'll be fine. You'll be fine. But here's the thing. There are so many instances where, I get asked or someone just didn't feel comfortable because they didn't know a rule well enough. So they're like, oh, well, I'll just let it go. Or people ask me a year later, hey, this happened. What was I supposed to do? And I'm like, well, why didn't you ask me when you came into scoring and came in to hand in your scorecard? Because that's the right time to ask questions like that. And I've been meaning to do this honestly for a while. So I guess for the listeners who did not read the email that I just sent, um, I I just kind of surprised everyone, including my own husband, with this one today, where I am requiring everyone who plays on the AGT to get their level one rules certification for free through the RNA, and the passing mark is 70% on it. So that's what Alvin's mad about.
So how
and
many times can you take this test?
Unlimited. And there's only a certain number of questions in the question bank. So just remember the ones that you got wrong and the ones that you got right, so that eventually it's just like, oh, I got this question before, boom, 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 and then you pass. It's fine.
Well, I guess
Not hard.
if I have to do it 3 or 4 times, it'll just mean I know the rules more, right?
Yeah.
Theoretically.
Listen, I had like 4 people already send me their certificates, and I think 3 out of the 4 were right at 70%. So
yeah,
like,
that's what I'm shooting for. I'm shooting for 70%. Yeah, I am not a
high achiever.
No, I don't need to achieve those type of things.
No, it's fine. But you know, there's just I'm only one person, and I, especially with how busy all of these events are getting, by the time I'm done sending everyone off the first tee, it's pretty much time to go set up my computer and do scoring. And I don't get a chance to get on the golf course as much as I used to. And so when there's rulings issues, like obviously you always have the chance to play 2 balls and then ask me after the round what the right call is. But I want people to feel comfortable and confident in knowing, or at least have also the RNA app on their phone and just be able to look it up and be able to reference certain rules without needing to necessarily involve me. I'm always happy to get involved, but I can't be in 2 places at once. So if we know that there's a potential option here and a potential option here, and then you do play 2 balls, then we sort of know what to expect. But you know, just getting the confirmation from me at the end of it is still obviously an option there too. So I just want people to have a basic understanding of the rules, because the more new people that keep coming on this tour, I tend to get more and more complaints every season about people who aren't necessarily following the rules, or not dropping from like point of entry because they dropped 30 yards ahead because that's where their ball ended up, but it crossed the line back here. Like simple things like that that we run into a lot, that shouldn't really be issues if you're playing in a tournament. I just want people to have that basic understanding. So
I should go back to school.
Fuck.
So
not that bad.
Another thing you did this year. So for us AGT members, for those of us that have signed up, give us a little insight into the gear or the
swag,
the swag that we get.
Yeah. I try and change this up every year too. And I always try to make it something that people actually want, right? So the first year I had the membership, it was kind of your basic hat and towel and ball marker situation. Last year we did the glove and the ball marker and the bag tag, and well, every year is a bag tag. A lot of people, you'll see people kind of proudly displaying like every year, because every year you get a new one. And
well, you'll see some posts when we get our bag tags, because that's hey, we're tour players.
Yeah,
100%.
100% tour players. Yeah, and I am proud to be an AGT tour player.
Hell yeah. And so yeah, this year changed up a little. I've always wanted to kind of move into apparel options, but I also am very cognizant of the pricing that I want to stay inside as well. So we were able to work out a deal with Level Wear and Full Wedge and Rollo Golf. Now, Rollo is from Saskatchewan. These are all Canadian companies, by the way. So Level Wear is also Canadian. Rollo is from Saskatchewan. And Full Wedge is from, I think, Toronto, the Ontario region.
We actually know the people that are either work for or own Full Wedge. So Mac Dixon, he's in that Full Wedge thing now. He drives the van. So we've had him on the pod before, and we know him really well. We haven't quite gotten into the Full Wedge thing yet, but at least we'll get some Full Wedge gear this year. Did you get Full Wedge?
Yeah.
No, I think I got a hoodie.
Oh, what a skeet.
I was gonna say Chris is like a solid color type of guy. Like he's
Chris is
getting
a
the level wear
fucked up
hoodie.
neon type of color guy, is what that guy is. Do you not remember
Then why are
watching
you
this guy
getting
on a
full
golf
wedge?
course? Like neon blue pants, neon orange shirt. Like you could see this guy from 6 miles away. It's like, oh, there, Chris is on the driving range, and I'm driving halfway across Medicine Hat, and I could see him on the driving range, and I'm blind, and I can still see his colors. Like, yeah, he glows. Oh, look, Chris is on the driving range because I could see orange.
I know, but
Christ.
it's still solid. Like he's not really a pattern guy. He's just like
True.
boom
Well,
orange and boom blue.
yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, I don't,
But yeah,
I do the odd pattern, but I like the solid colors.
Solid,
full
ugly
wedge,
ass
full wedge and
bar.
volo.
You were talking earlier about getting in people's heads. I mean, when I
Fucking
play golf, it's if you're playing with your playing partners and you're hard to look at. I mean, it just gives them something else to think about. Right?
like there's just a goddamn aura around you when you're walking up the fairway. It's so bright, Christ. And we get a lot of sun down here, and it's really hard on the eyes, and
Well, it's good to know that it affects your game.
it does. It affects me mentally, my soul. It affects my soul. The ugly shit colors you wear.
Chris
Yeah.
is gonna go out and buy more orange shirts now, or maybe like some like highlighter yellow or like bright lime green.
Oh, I have a highlighter yellow on right now.
Perfect. There it is. But yeah, Rolo and full wedge are these very bold, bright patterns, very in these days on the golf course. So that's been a really fun one to be able to offer to people. And then yeah, level wear, I mean, they do like their basics are so nice. And the fact that we could get a hoodie like that at the same price point as like a full wedge polo is pretty incredible. So I'm really, yeah, excited for all three of these brands. And, even before this whole tariff situation and support Canadian brands, that was still something that was important to me too when I was selecting who we were partnering with here. So yeah, it's awesome. And then of course everyone gets a category fitting at Modern Golf in Calgary is their
Oh,
only
yeah, we didn't use
location
that last.
still.
We didn't use that last year. I might use that this year.
Yeah. And I think, I mean, obviously, then you get the preferred pricing, you get access to the early bird sale, and you get the member pricing on all of the events. So, for anyone who doesn't know, the members save $30 on single day events and $50 on majors. And then during the early bird sale, there's an additional $10 off single day events and $20 off majors. So you're saving as a member $70 on your major entries when you register during the early bird sale. So
And the early bird
that's
sale ends
huge.
Master Sunday, which when this
Yeah.
airs will be
It'll already be
Be the
off.
day before. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So
That's
yeah,
why
I
I'm probably
mean,
gonna go home tonight and fill out my form for most of these ones.
yeah. Yeah. Don't miss out.
No, I'm gonna get Mickelson entered right away because
Yeah, well, that was like last year, right? When we seen Mickelson, we're like, we got to jump on that one because that one's going to go quick. And it's when the schedule came out and we seen it, it was kind of, I mean, as soon as it was released, Alvin and I were kind of going over it, and I'm going over it, and I'm like, I'd like to play this one, this one, this one. I'm like, I maybe can't play all of them. I should maybe leave myself some weekends where I have to work or do whatever. So maybe I'll dial it back a bit, but keep them in most of the close ones. But
Yeah.
I mean, it's we talked about it last year. We had such a good experience on the AGT, despite all the weather issues that we seem to have for whatever reason. But I mean, it was is this guy right here. It was a great experience, and I mean, I just it made me really want to play more competitive golf with other people that I don't know, right? Because we had our thing with Mulligans and Hackers, and it's fun to play with our buddies, but there's a different pressure and a different kind of feel when you're playing with people you don't know.
well, we did it for so many years playing with our pals that when I've said it before that like in the second year we were playing in our Mulligans and Hackers tour, it was like, have you heard of this Alberta Golf Tour stuff? And I'm like, in my head at that time, it was like, if we were going to go and maybe take another level in golf, that would be our entry level to tournament golf, would be this. And, like showing up with the tent and scorecards and doing all that tournament type stuff for guys that are relatively new to golf because this is our fifth year.
Fifth year.
Fifth year playing golf.
Not really new anymore.
Not, yeah. Well, I still call myself new because there's people who've been playing for a lot longer than that. But to get that experience of playing tournament golf when you show up to a golf course and you got to go through all the things that tour guys would do. It was a great experience for us. And I will say, maybe finishing second in my flight last year my inaugural event may have put it in my mind to say, hey, you need more of this. You need to do this more. Because again, I have a second place finish and you don't. So
yeah, you lost to a guy with hickory sticks.
Hey, I don't care. I still got a second place finish, and I have a second place. You don't.
Okay. I'll be the first one to get a win. We all know it.
Well, if I was a betting man and I was going to bet the house, I probably would put some money on that for sure. But if we can get you into the B flight and me playing the C flight, I might put a little bit more money on me.
Well,
just saying.
If my handicap's going to stay in the range it's at, and I have to move up a flight, yeah, it might be a little bit more difficult.
There you go.
I'll rise to the challenge.
So, Leah, as a personal favor to me, if you could get this guy in the B flight for pretty much the entire season, that'd be fantastic.
I'm gonna do some Blair Sinclair handicap maintenance.
Handicap management.
Handicap maintenance.
Throw a few 90s up there and get that puppy back up to like a 14 or a 15.
I would love. It would do my heart good to watch you on the course shoot 90. It would actually do me really good. I would probably just put my clubs in the bag and just watch. Because that would be awesome.
I say that now, but there's no way I could go out there and shoot that, like trying to shoot that. I'm too competitive to do that. Even if I'm just out there playing around, I got to try and play my best.
Well, Blair, the way that everyone gets flighted is completely dependent on that field in that particular event. Right. I do not have exact numbers for cutoffs because I want the flights as even as I can make them while still being fair. So, Alvin, what you need to do is make sure that there's a lot of C and D flighters so that we're really bottom, higher handicap heavy, and he does end up in the B flight. So that's the way that would work. But then also, Chris, don't forget, that's where we also push you back a T between C and B.
That's fine.
So you'll be more in that 63 to 65 range in the B flight.
That's what we play all the time anyway, so it's not a big deal.
Yeah. Okay. Excellent.
Distance really is fine. That's okay.
Well, yeah, you just can't hit your 6-iron off every tee box, though. That's all.
I sure can. You want to watch me? I bet you I can hit my 6-iron off every tee box, even if it's long like that.
Well, I know
and still shoot a good score.
I know he hits his 6-iron way straighter than he hits his driver. That's for damn well sure. So.
I mean, the guy who was playing in my match play first round of the playoffs for our MMP Cup, he was just like. He was looking at me and he's like, let me guess, 6-iron? He's like 220 every single time out into the fairway. I'm like, yeah, man, like it's just consistent. I'm not as consistent with my driver or my other clubs. I want to be in play so that I have a second shot.
Fair enough.
I'll take a little bit longer distance.
At championship, we were very D-flight heavy, and I actually texted Blair Sinclair to see how he would feel about moving to the C flight for the Tour Championship. And I let him know who was in it, me included, my husband included. And he actually made the decision because D flight's tough, right? Because if you don't shoot near your handicap, you're screwed. Like you have to play to your handicap every round, basically. And so he decided that, he did want to play in the C flight. And then unfortunately, my Sandbaker husband proceeded to shoot B flight scores in the C flight all championship. And he was in front of second place by, I believe, 17 strokes after the 4 rounds. And then second place was in front of third place by an additional 16 strokes. So third place was like 33 strokes behind first place.
Dang.
And I'm like, you guys need like a B plus flight where they play like the C flight yardage, but they are in their own better flight because fuck your 77s in the C flight. That is not a C flight score.
Ooh, that's damn good.
Yeah. Yeah, I believe Cody's highest round all week was 84.
Oof. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely sandbag to get there.
Yeah. Yeah. But oh well, I guess. But yeah, he won the C flight. Tyler won the champ flight in that playoff, and I got like second last place as usual.
Ah,
So
you're
proud,
happy to
proud
be
of
there for
them.
other reasons. The golf is just a bonus, right?
100%. Yeah. There's a lot. I basically consume about 95% of my annual liquor intake during those 4 days. So don't expect
That's a
like,
good family weekend.
yeah. Oh, Tyler. Okay, so quick off story. Thursday at the big break competition after round one, I put Cody and Tyler in the same group in the first group so that they could go set everything up as groups are starting to come in. I'm in the second group. Cody's on the phone. Tyler's walking around, and I'm on my like new microphone and boombox and being kind of annoying and whatever. And I'm like, "Hey, what's up? Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3." And Tyler's like this, and I'm like, just on the like he's on the phone, so I'm assuming he's talking to somebody at work. I'm like, fuck, they know he's here. Who cares? Whatever. Blah blah blah. And Tyler's like, I'm like, what the hell? So I walk over, and Tyler walks over, and it's the three of us, and Cody is uh now texting, not on the phone, with our neighbor who was watching our dog, who was 16 years old. And he had texted Cody and said, I don't think that he can last another 4 days. The old boy, I think it's his time. And so Cody's in tears and Tyler's in tears. And I'm like, fuck, I got to compartmentalize now because I got to like keep the vibes up for the big break competition. Oh shit. Okay. Cody is like, I don't know what to do. And I'm like, you leave. Like, that dog cannot die without you. So, like, you're going back home right now. And so he goes to the trailer, packs up his stuff, starts hitting the highway. And Tyler's off on the corner of the range, very upset. Um, People start bringing him beer. And again, I probably shouldn't talk about this, but
Easy
by
peasy.
by the end, I guess partway like an hour later, so like he was maybe 30 minutes down the road. The daughter-in-law of the neighbor had texted and was like, there's nothing wrong with him. He's the same as he always is. Like, he can totally last the 4 days. And like that was August, and to be fair, we didn't put him down till January. So like he had time. But anyway, so Cody turned around and came back. But meanwhile, Tyler has had like 9 beer at this point
Oh,
over the course of probably 2 hours.
how is he not blacked out?
And well, he was. He barely made it back to the campground from Wildstone. And then he was like, we've got a hammock outside of our trailer. He proceeded to throw up all over himself. And then it just like stayed in the hammock because it just kind of cups itself, right? And he's passed out puking in the hammock outside of our camper. And yeah, it was just like, it was not good. He has not drank since then.
Yeah, I have a similar story to that when I was
Um,
16 or 17 at a volleyball tournament in Edson in a bar, and I drank about 9 or 10 kokanees. And in like 2 hours time frame, I do not remember any of that night. It was really bad.
yeah,
Do you
yeah.
want
And
mine?
that's,
So,
The smell to this day makes me want to vomit.
softball
uh,
tournament in Edmonton, sponsored by Mike's Hard Lemonade. There was a 52
ooh,
foot semi of Mike's Hard Lemonade on site for softball. I have never touched a Mike's Hard Lemonade since then, and that was probably close to 30 years ago. I have never touched one since.
We all have our horror stories.
It
okay,
was
so
a
what's going to
fucking
happen here? You guys are giving me all the ammo. So if I ever want to piss either of you off, so kokanee or just quietly take your 6 iron out of your bag, Chris. Alvin, I'm gonna have a Mike's Hard actually fully cracked. It's not gonna be a closed can, but I need you to smell that shit. And now I know what I'm gonna do if I need to piss you guys off. This is great. Great ammo. Never tell me these things because I will
I
always
don't know,
be
man.
able
Should we edit this
to.
out of the podcast?
Well, she's not gonna forget.
It's like story times at
Story
between
time on the AGT.
on the AGT. Holy shit!
Yeah, we had story time in my very first
That was a fantastic
interview with
story
you
that
guys.
there was a
So,
lot of fantastic feedback on, Leah.
this was the exact water bottle I used that day, actually, and it's water this time, not wine. So,
Well, that's good.
Well, I mean, we're super excited for the AGT season, and I mean, it's crazy. We're 5 weeks away,
4 now.
or
Yeah,
4 weeks away. Yeah, like
4 weeks
four weeks away from Copper Point, and I mean, yeah, let's get there. And
This
do
has been
something.
this has been the shit that has gotten me through the winter. Like I started going to the gym in January. That really helped up here and physically, obviously. We did the MMP Cup Simulator League, so we got to swing clubs once a week. And knowing that the AGT was on the other end of this is kind of what got us through this winter. And yeah, it's getting closer, and we cannot wait to get going.
I'm so excited. I know, like a month away from Copper. How are we selling out tournaments already too? Like it's all these new names. It's going to
Yeah,
be
we'll
such
take
an
credit for
awesome
that
season.
by getting your exposure out there. We'll take some credit for that for sure.
Totally. It's all you guys. Thank you. I'm still going to open a can of Mike's Hard right in front of you, though.
That's funny.
You might have to wear it, Leah. I'm just saying.
Then you're going to have to deal with Cody, though. So I don't
No,
know.
yeah.
I think
We'll
I
see how
think
it
I
goes.
think Cody might side with us on that one.
No, I don't know. He knows whose side he has to be on at all times.
That's
Trust me.
probably that's probably true.
The year I was pregnant, you guys are going to be very happy you were not on the tour in 2018, because hormones and just yeah, it wasn't pretty. I believe he followed me around the majority of that season, whether it was players or pros at the course. Anyone who like tried to talk to me, I would just snap, and he would just follow me and be like, "Sorry, my wife's pregnant. Sorry, my wife's pregnant. Sorry, my wife's pregnant." So yeah, he knows his role. Even if he doesn't, even if he knows I'm in the wrong, he still has my back. So it's I'm lucky to have my bodyguard like that.
Well, anyways, anything else?
I don't think so. I think we kind of covered everything. We got all the events. We got the President's Cup. We got Championship. We got the rules
This might be a two-parter.
situation.
What's that?
This
Yeah.
might be a two-parter.
No, we'll throw this out as one. This is the season prep pod that we've been waiting for, and we've
been talking about it for a while.
We've got to get this in all as one pod, and if people have to listen to it in two or three goes, let them listen to it in 2 or 3 goes. This has to be one pod.
They can edit out themselves story time if they really want.
Exactly.
It's fine. They'll get a kick out of it.
So have you looked at the people at Copper Point yet to see what your flights are going to look like? Or are you too far out for that?
No, I haven't, but I totally can pull that up really quickly right now while we talk.
I want to give a shout out to Full Wedge, Mac Dickinson for Full Wedge, being involved in the Alberta Golf Tour. That's pretty cool. Buddy of ours. Shout out to Mac. Shout out to Full Wedge.
Heck yeah.
There you go. I just wanted to do that for a clip that we could put out.
Yeah.
Show Mac that we're paying attention.
Absolutely.
Love it. Okay.
While we're throwing out clips, don't forget to go over and visit Mike Johnny, 36 a day, MH&G for 15% off.
36aday.com, MNHD15 for 15% off. We love 36 a day. We always wear their hats at AGT events.
Yep.
And I wear their hats at every golf.
This one always gets, everybody always asks me, they always say go Leafs.
Yeah.
Leafs hat. I'm like, I'm a Leafs fan, but it's not a Leafs hat.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's fair. And I love what he's done with the Ontario boys story and supplying them with the hats. Pretty cool. They've got the picture at the Masters and stuff now too.
They got the picture with all the Canadians down there.
Yes, super cool.
Yeah.
We're looking like
Yeah.
So someone do the math. 80 divided by 5 is what? 20? No, not 25. 14? No. 16. Yeah, it's pretty balanced, honestly.
I'll do some handicap maintenance to make sure I get down there.
Yeah, no, Alvin's like locked in. Well, you're right. You're on that CD cusp line as you usually are. And Chris, as long as you stay under 10, you're very likely locked into B. So,
All right,
yeah.
little maintenance will be good.
No, no maintenance, Blair Sinclair. We're gonna have to get him. Make sure you tag him when you post this so he can listen to us
Well, I said
to
to
talk.
Alvin when I went out there today, I was like, I was hoping to drop or to raise my handicap, but I shot 4 over through 9, so it dropped me from a 9.9 to a 9.8. I'm like, oh, we're going the wrong direction right now.
It's good. I think you'll enjoy the B flight. I bounce between the B and the C as well, and um, it's the same great, different people, but it's the same great people at the same time. So it's just yeah, it's a
Oh
different
yeah, I
crowd
mean,
and
it's
lots of
just
fun.
about getting out there and having some fun and playing golf,
You
right? I
bet.
mean, we've seen the growth in our games, and I mean, Alvin. We often talk about Alvin being 1 year behind me in a lot of ways in golf. So hopefully he can get down to single digits this year at some point. And
It would be nice to hit that goal this year, uh, even if I don't stay there, just to get there,
dip
right?
down in there.
Just to
Yep.
dip down. I think I got down to 12 last year,
Yep.
so
I mean,
I think
you're only 2.1 away.
it's possible, manageable. So we'll see how that goes this year. I'm in a way better head frame going into this season when it comes to my game. So I just can't wait. Like we're kind of crawling our way into the start of the season here, but it's going to really kick off in the next week or so. I did say to some people that I was talking golf with earlier this week, I want quality over quantity because we always play a lot of golf.
Mhm.
We're in the 80, 90, 100 rounds, crazy numbers for 6 months of the year playing golf. But I want my rounds this year to be quality and not necessarily as many as I can play. The rounds that I do play, I want to play well in. So
Yeah.
I bought a range pass. There's been there, there's
Way.
there's there's
Only
already
took him 5 years.
there's been probably 3 times as many range sessions as golf sessions so far. So um, again, now just
Good.
balancing.
That's what it takes.
You bet, balancing the gym, balancing range, balancing golf. So I'm looking forward to getting into it and getting my routine down again. And yeah, it's going to be so good.
Going to be awesome. And yeah, your first experience with majors. I'm excited for you guys to kind of see that back to back and
We're excited
again
for
with
that
the
too. Like that again, it's another experience for us, right? Like
yeah.
to get a major in 2 days, play. You again just that mind frame of going in and playing a 2 day event, right?
2 day, as we know, 2 day
Yeah,
tournaments are much different than one day, right? I mean,
we
one
played
day you
we
got to have
played
your best on one day. I mean,
we
two
played the
days.
club championship this year here for the first time we've ever played a club championship was 2 days,
Yep.
and that again a different type of experience, and
Mhm.
an AGT major is going to be just another experience,
And I
and
mean, I'm just as excited for like the tour championship at the end, where you have 4 days and it's actually set up like like a legit pro kind of tournament,
4 day
right?
tournament Thursday,
Four
Friday,
day
Saturday,
tournament,
Sunday.
and you got to get locked in for 4 days because that's a whole nother animal.
Yeah. Well, that's where one of the sayings like you can't win it on the first day,
You
but
can
you
lose it.
can lose it.
Yep,
So,
absolutely.
it's about managing those misses and making smart decisions when you've had a pretty bad miss, taking your medicine instead of letting your ego take over, little things like that, that really add up over the course of 4 rounds. Because there's been a lot of instances where, uh, it comes down to that final hole at Wildstone on the last day. Even in the A flight, we had two guys tied and another guy that was 2 strokes back from them, and they both tripled the hole. He, or no, he was only 1 stroke back. I can't remember. But anyway, he leapfrogged them and ended up winning
Oh, jeez.
when no one even thought that he was like in play. But yeah, and so like that's the other cool thing is like I keep these flights so tight. I do manage the sandbaggers, and by that time of year, I know who I'm looking out for, right? So I keep things really tight, and you see that at the end of 4 rounds because yeah, you're going to go like this. You're not going to have your best every single day, but nobody is. And it's just a matter of who can kind of hang on the longest and get through those final 4 holes at Wildstone.
Well, I think it was kind of funny this year when we were doing our sim league. Mac, the owner down in Cottonwood, probably said it best, and it kind of lit a little light in
It
Alvin's
did, yeah,
eyes.
it did.
I mean, your handicap is really what your potential to shoot is, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not where you're going to shoot every time. It's your potential best game, and I mean
Yeah.
that kind of. I mean, because our sim handicaps are very different because I mean they have gimmies within 6 feet and all that other stuff, right? Like I was a 2,
Yeah.
and I think Alvin was like a 7 or something or an 8.
I was at 6.
Oh yeah, there you go. So I mean, it's just we were saying that, and I'm like, I've never shot 2. I was like, the lowest I've had is like 6 or 7 over. I don't know what's happening. And he's like, it's your potential of what you could shoot. And I'm like, you know what? That actually makes sense when you put it that way.
Yeah.
Sometimes you lose track of that.
In the sim league, though, I would fucking really like to shoot that score sometimes.
Yeah.
Christ.
Yeah.
I think I only broke double digits twice during the whole through the whole 10-week series.
Sims are just another animal. They're just a necessary evil that swings in during winter, and then once you get the ball flight outside, you just go to your thing.
Yep, totally.
But thanks for joining us tonight, Leah. It was we've been looking forward to this.
We've been looking forward to this one, trying to get this episode in to get the season prep episode out, and we will see you in 4 weeks.
4 weeks.
4 weeks.
Yes.
Copper Point. We'll see you then.
Very excited. We won't have the tent set up there, just so that you know. The driving range is very far away from the first tee, and so I live at the first tee basically, and that's where you'll pick up all of your stuff. So just so you know, no tent. All of our flags will be up though, so you'll still get the same feeling driving in.
Awesome. Thank you. See you then.
See you.